morning students. Welcome you in today's session. Last period we have seen the chapter Our Environment. In that chapter we have seen some concepts about the nature, how to protect the natures and so on. Now just once we will have the look about the human physiology. First chapter we have started with the cell chapter. In that one we have seen the various components and the importance functions of the cell components. Now we will see the next part of the biology chapter, that is the tissue. Tissue is very important chapter as we have gone through the cell. Everybody is knowing that cell form a body of a human being. That is why cell it is said to be a basic building block. Basic building blocks because it makes a body. Each and every organisms on the earth surface is made up of the cell. Only the difference can be there. Some may be unicellular as well as some may be multicellular. But still we have the cell in our body. We also came to know that cell, when it get in a group form, when the group of cell will be there, then you will have the tissue in nature. If cell will be there, more than one cells will be there in the body, it forms the groups and they are said to be a tissue. That means simply tissue we can define the group of cell. Now we have number of tissue in a body as we have number of cells in the body. Okay, so tissue also plays a very important role for the formation of the organ, because the sequence we are knowing. Cell we have, then after that we have the tissue in a body, then after the tissue we have the organ in a body, then after organ we have the system in our body, and if we have number of systems then we have the whole body. Our body consists of several systems in the body. For example, respiratory system, digestive system, excretory system and so on, several systems. We have nervous systems and example. So here we are going to see about what different kind of tissues we have. Before starting the chapter, I would like to tell that we have two different types of tissue, that is the plant and the animal, because plant also consists of cell in that. So definitely they will also have the certain kind of tissue in that one as we have the number of tissues. So first of all we will start with the plant tissue and then we will go to the animal tissue. So actually the plant tissue, it is classified into the two different parts, that is the meristematic tissue and the permanent tissue. Just keep in mind, it will be very good if you will make the flow chart of this one. If flow chart it will be there, then it will be very possible, very easy way to study the chapter. So plant tissue, it is classified as the meristematic tissue as well as the permanent tissue. Permanent tissue will keep aside because it is somewhat broad point. So permanent tissue will keep aside. We will start with the plant tissue today, and from that one plant tissue we will discuss just about the meristematic tissue. Now see, for this one experiment it is given in our textbook. Just we have to take two container full with the water. Everybody must be having onion at home. Then water just keep into the two container and then put the onion inverted in that one. That means the fibrous part it should be dipped into the water body. Just keep like that one container. What will happen after some time, the fibrous structure will become fleshy in nature and it absorbs the water from that one. Okay, so if we will cut the section, it will take out that one, then if we will cut, it will observe under the microscope. You people may liable to see such kind of structure. Now why it is, what it is said to be a, this is said to be a meristematic tissue which show the various growth in the particular section. There will not be unique growth in the what the tip, it will be there. We have taken suppose a section of that one. It will not have the unique growth. They will show the different variations in that one. Now that kind of a thing it is said to be a meristematic tissue. Meristematic tissue is classified in three different zones. First one it is said to be apical meristem, then it is said to be a intercalary meristem, and then downside it is the lateral meristem. These three different parts meristematic tissue it is divided. See, we are going to discuss about the plant tissue. From that one plant tissue it is classified into the two different ways, meristematic tissue and the permanent tissue. Permanent tissue we have kept aside. Tomorrow in next period we will continue the permanent tissue. Just we will see the meristematic tissue. Meristematic tissue it is divided into the apical meristem, intercalary meristem and the lateral meristem. Now why this is classified? Why these three different zones are there? See, it is just like a finger. It shows just like a finger. So apical meristem, that means the topmost part of the meristematic tissue, it is the apical one. Say this portion it is said to be apical meristem, and apical meristem it is responsible to increase the length of plant body. We are talking about the plant tissue. Right? This apical meristem increases the length of the stem or the root, because length can be possible in two ways only in the plant. Either the stem can go or the root can go. Right? So in both the condition, either it may be the stem or it may be root. If the length get increased, then whose function it is? It is the function of apical meristem. Apical meristem, we work on that one to increase the growth. Understood? So this is the first part, that is the apical meristem. Then second we have, that is the intercalary meristem. This is the middle portion. This is the middle portion. Intercalary meristem. It is just like a band. Here I have shown you. This is the band. And what is the function of the intercalary meristem? It increases the girth. Girth means this kind of length. Height it will not increase. In length it will increase by the apical meristem. Intercalary meristem will increase the girth of the plant body. And so this is the second part, both stem or the root. In both the conditions it will be there. They will increase the girth of the plant. Then at last there is the lateral meristem. Lateral meristem, it is present at the base of the leaves. You might have seen base of the leaves, some small portion it is coming out. This is said to be a lateral meristem, which plays a very important role, which gives support to the leaves. Support is very important, otherwise leaves will be flattened to the stem. But it is not like that one. It will be somewhat erect. So why it is so? It is because of the lateral meristem. So these three different parts we have in the plant tissue. Plant tissue, in that way we have seen about the meristematic tissue, because it shows the variations in the growth of that particular plant body. So meristematic tissue, it is divided into the apical meristem, intercalary meristem and the lateral meristem. Function of apical meristem, it is what? To increase the length of a stem or the root, just upside. Then intercalary meristem increases the girth of the root of the stem, size increase karesa girth, and then lateral meristem will help the leaves of the plant for the growth purposes or to be there on the plant body. So this is what the meristematic tissue in the plant. So this introductory part we have seen here, that is the different types of tissue, functions of tissue. Function of tissue is what? To make the system. The organs can be made just by the tissue. As the cell, it is said to be a basic building blocks of the body. From cell only tissue will get generated. If tissue will be there, then organ can be possible. Next we will continue the animal tissue, but before that permanent tissues are left of the plant. Plant consists of permanent tissue. This is what the just introductory part about the meristematic tissue. You just go thoroughly through the textbook, read it properly, take out the short notes of this one and do the practice of the diagram. In next period we will continue the permanent tissue. Thank you.